Something satisfying just happened. I caught them lying. Every week it's the same headlines. AI is taking your job. AI replaced 700 workers. AI will eliminate millions of positions. And every week, I felt like something didn't add up. So I did what journalists used to do. I read the actual reports, not the headlines, the data underneath. And I found one number that changes everything. 4.5%. That's the real number. And nobody's talking about it. Last week, Oxford Economics published a report that should have made front-page news. They called AI layoffs corporate fiction. Those are their words, not mine. They looked at every layoff in 2025. 55,000 jobs were blamed on AI. Sounds massive, right? But here's what they found. That's only 4.5% of total layoffs. The other 95%? Just regular job cuts. Nothing to do with AI at all. So why does every headline scream about AI taking jobs? Because Wall Street loves that story. When a company says they're cutting jobs because of AI, it sounds smart. It sounds forward-thinking. It makes executives look like visionaries leading us into the future. But when a company admits they hired too many people during the pandemic, and now they're fixing that mistake, that makes them look dumb. Same layoffs. Completely different spin. A Wharton professor told Fortune something that shocked me. He said companies announce what he calls phantom layoffs. They make the announcement. Stock goes up. Then they never actually fire anyone. Why would they do that? Because investors reward layoff news, especially when you attach the words AI to it. But here's where it gets interesting. Goldman Sachs caught on. They ran the numbers on companies blaming AI for job cuts. What did they find? These companies had higher debt, lower profit growth, worse fundamentals than their competitors. The AI story wasn't innovation. It was cover for real problems nobody wanted to admit. Let me show you how this plays out in real life. Remember Klarna? They were the poster child for AI replacing workers. Their CEO went everywhere bragging that AI was doing the work of 700 people. Headlines loved it. Then something happened. Customer satisfaction tanked. Quality dropped. Complaints flooded in. Eventually, the CEO had to admit they cut too many humans. It backfired. Now they're rehiring. And Klarna isn't alone. Forrester Research found that 55% of companies that blamed AI for layoffs now regret it. More than half. IBM cut thousands from their HR department. Said their AI chatbot would handle everything. Had to bring humans back when the bot couldn't actually do the job. A professor from Oxford Internet Institute put it perfectly. He said companies are scapegoating AI. They overhired during the pandemic. Now they need to cut costs. But instead of admitting they made a mistake 3 years ago, they say it's because of AI. Same result. Much better. PR. Here's what really convinced me something was off. MIT partnered with Scale AI to study how well these systems actually perform. Not demos at conferences. Not cherry-picked examples. Real work projects given to real AI systems. The best AI completed 2.5% of projects successfully. Let that sink in. Not 90%. Not 50%. 2.5. The rest? Corrupted files. Incomplete deliverables. Poor quality work. Internally inconsistent results. So, if AI can only finish 2.5% of real work, how is it supposedly replacing millions of jobs? It's not. Yale's Budget Lab tracked the entire US job market since ChatGPT launched in 2022. Their conclusion: American labor has been, quote, little disrupted by AI automation. And here's the smoking gun. Oxford Economics ran a simple test. They said, if AI is really replacing workers at scale, productivity should skyrocket. Same output, fewer workers. Basic math. So what happened to productivity? It's actually slowing down. If robots were doing everyone's job, we'd see it in the economic data. We don't. The numbers aren't lying, but the headlines are. So what's actually happening? During the pandemic, tech companies went on a hiring spree. They thought digital growth would last forever. Some companies grew headcount by 30%, 40%. Some doubled in size. IBM's CEO called it, quote, gorging on employment. Then the boom ended, and now they're correcting. But executives face a choice. Option A, tell investors you miscalculated. You hired way too many people. You made a strategic mistake. Option B, tell investors you're embracing AI, you're innovating. You're ahead of the curve. Same layoffs. But one makes you look incompetent. The other makes you look like a genius. Which story do you think they choose? Here's why this matters for your career. If you've been panicking because every headline says AI is coming for your job, take a breath. The actual data tells a completely different story. Most layoffs have nothing to do with AI. They're about pandemic overhiring, economic conditions, cost-cutting dressed up as innovation. Does that mean AI won't matter eventually? No, it will matter, but not the way the headlines want you to believe. Here's what the data actually shows. Workers who learn to use AI tools, they're earning 56% higher salaries than people in the same roles without those skills. The companies that rush to replace humans with AI, more than half of them regret it. The technology that was supposed to take your job, it successfully completes 2.5% of real work. So the question isn't, will AI take my job tomorrow? The question is, how do I use this moment, while everyone else is panicking over headlines that aren't even true? When you see the next story about AI eliminating millions of jobs, remember these numbers. 4.5% of layoffs are actually AI-related. 2.5% of real work gets done by AI. 55% of companies regret their AI layoffs. The companies are telling you one story. The data tells a very different one. I made another video about the specific jobs AI keeps failing to replace. The ones where the data shows humans still win. If you want to know where the real opportunities are, that's the one to watch next. I'm exposing what the AI industry doesn't want you to see. Subscribe so you don't miss it.